Hi, Zoe. How are you? Hello? Make sure to turn on your audio. Okay, there you are. Hi, Zoe. How are you?
I'm fine.
Nice to meet you. Let's just see 2 more minutes and wait. And let's see. Tian? Maybe they don't have audio yet. Zoe, how old are you? What's that?
10.
I couldn't quite hear you.
I'm 10.
You're 10? Okay, great. Well, looks like the other student went away. I'm going to put my name in the chat. My name is Allison, and I've been teaching ESL for about 7 years. I used to live in Taiwan, and I taught English there. So I can speak a little bit of Chinese, but I think your Chinese is probably a lot better than mine. We're going to be covering ESL Grammar 1. Is this your first time doing a class with ivyGoal? First time? Not sure.
I had a lesson last week.
Last week? Okay. Well, then have you used Canvas? This one? Have you seen this before?
Yes.
Okay. And let's see. Is it Shally or Shelly?
Shally.
Shally, nice to meet you. I'm Allison.
Yeah, nice to meet you, Allison.
Yes. And I was just talking to Zoe. So Shally, where do you live?
I'm now live at Plateau.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
How long have you lived there?
Maybe a half year. Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Well, I live in Davis, California. If you've ever heard of UC Davis, that's where I live.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm going to go to UC Davis next year to get a master's degree.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm really excited. And
Yeah, UC Davis is famous, right?
It's a good school, although I'm not doing the science, so it's not quite as exciting. I want to make sure I have time to let a few students come in because I'm not sure how many. So just give me 1 more minute, okay?
Okay.
Hi, iPhone 3, what is your name? Oh, they're still connecting to audio. We'll wait 1 more minute. iPhone 3, what is your name? I can't see a name for you. Could you tell us your name? iPhone 3?
Hello.
Hi.
Yeah. Sorry. I just get the Zoom. Yeah, my name is Coco. Yeah.
Can you type your name in the chat so I can see it?
Okay. Hold on. Give me a second.
You. And I'm actually gonna change your name once I see it, so that will make it easier for me. And then is it Huang?
I
Hi. What's your name?
My name is Huang Tianle.
Huang. Can I just call you Huang, or would you like me to call you your full name?
Just Huang is okay.
Just Huang is okay. All right, cool. I'm Allison. And then I'm just waiting to see the name of this user, and then I think we'll go ahead and get started. iPhone 3, put your name in the chat, please. Type it.
Okay.
Thank you. It's easier for me if I know and I don't have to call you iPhone 3. So while she's doing that, let me just introduce myself 1 more time. I'm Allison. I've taught ESL for about 7 years. Coco, got it. I lived in Taiwan for about 4 years before I moved back to California, and I live in Davis. My Chinese is like, I would say elementary school. So we're going to be using English 100%, but if something is very confusing, I can try to help, but hopefully we won't need to use any Chinese in this class. Do any of you have any questions for me before we get started? Okay, perfect. So we're going to do unit 1 of ESL Grammar 1 today. We're just going to be covering this section. And then by the end of the class, you can get a sense of what these classes are going to be like. And sorry, my Canvas account has been a little slow today. I don't really know why. I guess I can ask you a few questions. Coco, where do you live?
Oh, I live in Santa Clara.
Oh, how long have you lived there?
Almost like have been there is 8 years. Oh, no. I live here 5 years. I
5
used to
years.
live in Palo Alto. Yes.
Got it. Oh, so you also live in the Bay Area in California.
Yes.
Cool. And Huang, how about you? Where do you live?
I live in China,
Great. What part of China?
in Anhui province.
I've never been, but is there anything special about it?
Yeah, Anhui has a lot of great mountains,
Mountains.
Huangshan Mountains.
Oh,
It's famous
beautiful.
mountains. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe if I look at a picture, I might recognize it. So we're gonna.
I will share with you later
Sounds good.
this picture.
Sounds good. All right. So we're gonna get started with parts of speech. So when we talk about parts of speech, we're talking about nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. We'll start with nouns. What do we think, if I ask you what's a noun, what would you say? Anybody?
Nouns.
I think noun is like a item or like a grocery, right?
Yeah, it could be a thing, like an item. Like for example, a pen, this is a noun. It can also be a person, like
yeah.
a man or a woman, or a teacher or a student. It can also be a place, like my house or China or school. But they aren't just people, places, and things. They're also an important part of speech. So as we learn more about nouns, we'll see that they can be not just people, places, things, but ideas as well. For example, love can be a noun. Freedom can be a noun. Money can be a noun. And sometimes those are things that are in our mind and not exactly things that we can touch or see. There are parts of speech that are related to nouns. That means that they talk about nouns, or they're like, you could think of it like it's a noun's friend. They're partners, they work together. So parts of speech that are related to nouns in the noun family, obviously nouns, starting with common nouns, that's what we just talked about. There are also pronouns. A pronoun's job is to substitute for a noun. So instead of calling myself Allison and saying Allison is the teacher, I can say I am the teacher. Instead of saying your name, I can say you. Instead of talking about the man over there, I can say he. Those are pronouns. There are also ing nouns. I think the Chinese translation for these is verb noun. So what happens with these is you have a verb and then you add ing, and this verb can become a noun. I'm going to show you really quickly what that looks like. It looks like this. If I can replace it with a pronoun like it, that means that it is also a noun. So we might see some of those today. Those are a little bit more difficult. Next, adjectives. Who can tell me what an adjective does? Anybody? You can guess if you're not sure. If you see some of these words like happy, exciting, I'm going to add a few more to the list. We could say blue, we could say tall, we could say beautiful. Whoa. All of these are adjectives because they talk about nouns. So we can remember an adjective's job, its only job is to talk about a noun or describe a noun. So we could say I was about to say the cat is blue. It's kind of weird though. We could say the cat is black, or the black cat is cute. And that's how we use these to describe a noun. We can also see that ing words like exciting can become adjectives. So you got to keep an eye out for those ings because they can already do two different jobs. The next part of speech is the adverb. I would say this is the most difficult part of speech for new learners because an adverb can do a lot of different things. So my joke is the adverb is the trash can of English, because if it's not a noun, it's not a verb, and it's not an adjective, you can throw it in the adverb trash can. An adverb's job, it has four: talk about noun or verbs, talk about entire sentences, talk about other adjectives or other adverbs. So there's a lot of examples of these, and I think it will be easier to practice. To get started, if you see something with ly, you can remember that is an adverb. Conjunctions are words that join parts of speech together. You probably use these in most of your sentences when you want to combine things into a list, like I like apples, pineapples, and bananas, and connects them together. Determiners. These ones can be pretty difficult if Chinese is your first language because Chinese doesn't use determiners the same way as English. They're pretty different. So this one, I think it's a good idea to really pay attention to this part of speech because you're going to be learning some new ways of using these. Determiners are words that introduce nouns. So they're always right next to the noun, like the cat, or a cat. They have a little bit of a different meaning. Does anybody know what's different about the cat and a cat? What do you think?
How to
Are
say?
these the same?
Cat is, I think the cat is we talked about that one.
Yes.
And a cat just like a noun.
That's right, good. So for common nouns, people, places, and things, if we use the, it means you know about it and I know about it. We both know about it. If it's it means it's just some cat. We don't really care which one. It could be any cat in the world. It's not important. So this one is a cat that we already have like a history. We know this cat. And these other determiners, there's a lot of them. You notice that we have my, your, his, her. These are possessive, as in my cat, it belongs to me. We also have quantifiers, like few, little, much, many. These tell us how much of a noun that we have. And actually they didn't include this, but numbers are also determiners, like 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are determiners which introduce nouns. Prepositions are similar to determiners because they look like little tiny grammar words. The preposition's job is to take two nouns and give them a relationship. So while the determiner introduces the noun, the preposition connects two nouns. We might say, I am friends with him. Now there's I and him, and we're connecting those together. Prepositions can show where something is, like over or under. It can show a relationship, like with or for. It can also show about time, like, do they have any? During, before, after. All of these, you can remember, are related to nouns, noun related. Does anybody have a quick question before we move on? Because we're going to practice. Okay. Let's go to the verb related. Anybody want to tell me what a verb is or what you think a verb is? What is this? It's not a noun.
I just want to tell you words like we are doing something and doing right now. So it's like the word.
Action. That's right. What are we doing? Action. So it could be something literally like do, eat, talk, run, sleep. All of those are active verbs. There is another type of verb. It's important to learn this verb too. And a lot of students struggle with this type. This one is called stative. Stative is not doing anything, it's being. So the most important stative verb to learn first is be, because be is a very weird verb. And when I say weird, I mean it's super irregular. I'm going to show you what I mean. With be in the present, we could say is, are, or am. In the past, we could say was or were. And in the past participle, which we'll talk about maybe another time, it would be been. So when we look at this verb, we can see it does a lot of different things. A regular verb like this, maybe you know this verb, decide. This is regular. It just does decide in the present and decided in the past. So this one is normal. This one is not normal. We have to be aware of both kinds of verbs, especially because you're going to see a lot of verbs that are be. So it's a good idea to remember any of these forms are also verbs too. Other stative verbs to be aware of are have, know, and I think we'll leave it there for now. But you can remember when I have something or I know something, I'm not really doing anything. It's just a state of being. Verbs, oh, we have another student. Verbs have their own related parts of speech, but you can see that the verb club is a lot smaller than the noun club. The nouns have a lot of parts of speech that help them to do their job, but the verbs really only will be verbs, adverbs, and conjunctions. To put a sentence together, you can blend different parts of speech in different ways. I'm going to show you how to identify parts of speech in a sentence. Let's start with trying to find the subject, which is the noun that does the verb. Who can find the noun or nouns that are doing the verb in this sentence? As in, who is doing it? There are people in the sentence, right? Who are the people in this sentence?
A girl, a boy.
Yes, that's right. So we can say a girl and a boy are the subject, they're nouns. What are they doing?
Stand.
Stand, that's right. So this is the verb. Every sentence in the English language needs to have a subject, that's going to be a noun, and a verb, that's what they're doing. So it's also a good idea to start paying attention to what is the sentence about? It's about a noun doing a verb. That's always what the sentence is going to be about. These other words here have other jobs. This is a determiner. This is an adverb. This is an adjective. This is another adverb. This is a preposition, another determiner, and another noun. All of those are parts of speech that we've learned. Let's practice what we learned a little bit before the time gets away too far. Make sure that everyone's in here. Sophia, did you just join us?
Yes.
Hi, Sophia, how are you?
I'm fine.
Good, nice to meet you. I'm Allison. Okay, so we're gonna go through and identify which ones are both noun and verb related. So for these ones, it would be what you see 2 times up here. So take a look at the list, try to see which one is on both lists, and then we're going to scroll down. Who can tell me which ones are on both the noun and the verb list?
Verb.
The verb. What else is on both lists? Look again. Adverb. Conjunction. That's right. Those 2 are both noun and verb related. So I'm going to choose conjunction and I'm going to choose adverb. Next question, we're going to start identifying parts of speech. So how we're going to do this is everyone will take turns reading a little bit and then we'll practice it together. I'm going to ask Shelly, can you read the first part And then don't worry about this yet. We'll go back and do this after you read. So read until right here.
Excuse me, Alison, is you want me to read and
Yes,
speak
Yes.
here, right?
start here. Some
Some
parents,
parents pay their kids for doing chores.
good. That's right. And chores are things like do
Chores.
the dishes or wash the floor or clean the bathroom. Chores. They're not
Okay.
fun. So it's saying sometimes people will pay their kids to do these things. Now let's start with some. This one is going to be a little difficult. I'll give you a hint. It's the same as the, and anyone can answer. Shelly, I'm asking you, but if another person knows the answer, you can say the answer. Let's ask a question. Is this a noun? Is it a person, place, or thing?
Hints.
Person is a noun.
I'm gonna say
It's a
some is not a noun.
Adjective.
That's a really good guess because it's talking about a noun, but it's not describing it. It's introducing it and telling how much I have. Does anybody remember the part of speech that introduces the noun and tells how much we have? It's the same as the and a.
Oh yeah.
So
Some.
it's a determiner. This one's a determiner,
Determiner.
which I think is going to be a new one. So the nouns and verbs should be a little easier. Let's try this one. Parents. What part of speech is this?
Noun.
That's right. Exactly. Because it's talking about people. And finally, pay. What could this be?
Verb.
That's right. It's an action. Great job, Shelly. Okay, next, Huang, it's going to be
Thank you.
your turn. And you're going to read a little longer this part right here.
Taking out the trash, sweeping the floor, doing the dishes, keeping rats away from home, and helping with laundry and some of the common chores that kids are responsible for.
Good.
Kids should help
Oh, you can
parents.
stop. You can stop.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you're ready to go. We got to save some for everybody else. So now let's look at are, and remember what I told you about stative, one of these.
Verb.
That's right. It's one of the be verbs. And responsible.
Adjective.
Very good. Nice job. Because who is it talking about? What noun?
Kids.
That's right. So an adjective will always be talking about a noun. So if you're not sure if it's an adjective, you can say, what noun is it talking about? If you can't find it, it's probably not an adjective. Let's keep going. Oh, and this word responsible, this is about taking care of your job, doing what you should do. You don't make someone else do it. You do it because you should do it. Zoe, I'm going to give you this part to read, please.
It should help parents with household chores and care for their families.
Good. What do you think care for? And let's not worry about for, just focus on care.
Verb.
Good job. Nice, Zoe. All right, let's keep going. And who's down here? I think I'm going to have
目
Sophie.
前语法这个词是
Sorry?
动词还是名词？
Make sure you mute yourself if you have something going on in the background. Where are we? I want Sophia, please, to read this part.
请读。
But should they be cared for their help? It is a question that
Parents,
parents must figure
figure.
out of their wants. If parents pay their kids for chores, what is a fine amount 10 a week. Some means think this figure.
Figure.
figure
Is too low.
is too low.
Good, nice reading. Okay, let's take 1 minute to talk about the word figure. This word, there are two things I want to say. First of all, it sounds a little bit different than it's spelled. Welcome to English. Sometimes there are letters that we say that we don't write, or there are letters that we write that we don't say. It's part of what makes reading in English a little bit of a challenge. This word sounds more like this. It sounds like figure. If you put that Y sound, it's easier to say this word. So you can imagine that there's a little Y there, figure. Figure, in this case, is a number. It's a thing. So in that case, knowing that it's a thing, Sophia, what part of speech is it? If it's a thing.
Wait.
Do you remember which one is for things? It's
Wait,
not sure? I'm gonna ask for help, okay? Who can help Sophia decide what part of speech this is? Anybody? It's a thing.
Noun.
Yes, it's a noun. So because we know it's a thing, we know it's a noun. Now there are other hints that when you get better with grammar, you can use to help you. There's a determiner right here, and determiners are for nouns. So I know, oh, look, a determiner. This must be a noun because it's right next to one of those. There's also a verb over here, and this noun is doing this verb. When we're reading money, when you see the dollar sign, I know it's in the front, but we say it at the end. So this would sound like $10 per week. Whenever you see this, make sure that you add the word dollars at the end. Keep reading. Whose turn? Coco, can you go ahead and do this part for us, please?
Okay. Hold on. Which one start? Others might, yeah. Others might think this figure is too high. Some people think it's the responsibility of kids to help around the house without play. Some parents worry that our kids will have too much pull and become
Lazy.
lazy if we play them for their help.
Nice, good. Let's practice this word again. This word is power.
Power, yeah, power.
Power is something that makes us strong. So this is saying that they think maybe if they start paying money to their children to wash the dishes, the children will have too much power and become lazy, like they don't want to do any work anymore. Let's decide what part of speech become is. What do you think, Coco?
This verb.
Did you say a verb?
Oh, yeah.
Verb? You got it. That's right. Become is a verb. To keep going, I think I've gone through everybody now. Everyone got a chance to read at least once. So let's go back to Shelley. Can you read this part for us?
Sure. Other parents are connected that paying kids will get in the way of helping kids understand the responsibility for their families.
Good. Let's practice this word one more time. This one is concerned.
Concerned.
It does look a little bit like connected, but it has a different sound in the middle. So this is another really good thing to practice out loud reading, because sometimes when we read without saying it out loud, our brain will tell us it's a different word because we don't read the whole word. So it's good to slow down when you read and to read out loud, especially if you can have somebody who speaks English listen to you, because then you can make sure that you're actually saying the right word. Concerned is another way to say worry. Now let's do this one. This is a little bit of a harder one, Shelley. For is connecting two nouns and showing their relationship.
For.
Verb.
Did you guess verb?
Adverb.
Adverb, that's a good guess because I told you it's the trash can. Very
Yeah.
good guess. But this one is actually a preposition. So here's
Yeah,
a little joke I
guess
have
it's
about
prejudice.
prepositions. Prepositions are like Pokemon. You got to catch them all. So if you meet a preposition, it's a good idea to write it down or try to memorize it. Prepositions in English are limited. That means you can learn all of them. You just have to start practicing. I wouldn't say try to memorize all the nouns or verbs of English. Don't do that. But the prepositions, you can. I'm going to read the last part just so we can move a little bit more quickly. Paying kids can make them feel at home in the business world. They can be paid with a check. They can open savings account and deposit their checks every week. Parents can even deduct federal and state tax figures so their kids can learn how to deal with power of the government. If you ask kids their opinion, they will usually rule in favor of being paid. Parents often get a surprise when their kids go out of their way to make money. Parents should keep their cool if kids ask for money for doing household chores. However, kids should not be paid for helping people in general. For example, if someone has a stomach ache, let's identify it. What do you think a stomach ache could be? Anyone can
Noun.
answer. Did you say noun?
Mhm.
Everyone who said noun, you're right. Now, this is where I was trying to start explaining to you that yes, a noun is a person. Yes, a noun is a thing. And yes, a noun is a place, but it also can be things we can't see. We can't see a stomach ache. We feel it, but we can see this determiner is here. And what I told you, determiners introduce nouns. So this is a big hint of what part of speech we have. Kids should help him or her without any rewards. Now, because this is a trial class and I only have 15 minutes to introduce things to you, I normally would spend more time introducing vocabulary and teaching you how to use the words, but we're going to move a little bit more quickly today. Okay, we need to remember which of these are only related to verbs. And actually, it's only one answer. Does anyone remember? It's a little bit of a silly question. It's only related to verbs and nothing else. It's verbs. It's verbs. Yeah. So you can remember what I said in the beginning of class. Nouns have like a whole team of friends, and verbs really only use adverbs and conjunctions. They don't do anything with prepositions. They don't do anything with determiners, and they don't do anything with adjectives. Those are all for nouns. All right. Now, I just told you all of this. So which of these are only related to nouns and not verbs? You can just say it. Noun. Yeah. Nouns are related to nouns. What else? They have a lot of friends. How about the one that introduces the nouns?
A pen. A room.
This one, preposition. Prepositions are only for nouns. That's right. And we learned one earlier. For.
Only for nouns.
Only for nouns. Remember what I said about a?
Pronoun.
Determiners are also only for nouns. And there's one more here. It describes or tells us about a noun. Which one is it? Could tell us what it looks like. Like beautiful. Adjective. So these are only for nouns. And why is this important? I wouldn't say this is super, super important. What I will say is if we know that prepositions, determiners, and adjectives are only for nouns, and we want to know if it's a noun, these can help us decide because they wouldn't be talking about a verb. All right. What do we need to form a sentence? Remember, I told you we always must have two things.
How many different groups of words?
We need two things.
Nouns and verbs.
I can make this, yeah, nouns and verbs. That's right. Who is doing it? What are they doing? That's the sentence. All those other things are just extra. We don't need them. We need a noun and we need a verb. All right, I'm going to submit this. Good job. And let's try a little bit more with nouns. I would say nouns are probably the most important part of speech to get comfortable with. So there are different types of nouns. Common, normal ones, just the pen, person, hair, I don't know, it's just stuff. The pronoun we already talked about. I told you that these are a shorter way to say a longer thing. Instead of saying my name or your name, I just use a pronoun. It's a replacement, very short. The ing nouns we talked about a little bit. In the sentence, reading is fun, reading is a noun. And we'll look at that more. The last thing to understand are noun phrases and clauses. I don't have a lot of time to explain these to you today, but if you were to take a grammar class with me, we would spend a lot of time on this, especially in writing. A phrase is a group of words. A clause is a sentence that has a subject and a verb. That's all you need to know for now. So what I would say is identifying noun phrases and clauses. If it's a group of words, it's a noun phrase or a noun clause. In a sentence, we can see a common noun. Country is a common noun. America, you can say is a common noun. It also has another name, a proper noun. A proper noun, you could think of it like it's a noun that's wearing like a fancy hat on its head. And what we do with proper nouns is we always capitalize them. So your name is a proper noun. My name is a proper noun. The name of a company like Apple is a proper noun. And you'll see the larger uppercase letters for those. How to use this in a sentence. Here's a pronoun in a sentence. Here's what the ing can look like in a sentence. I love eating. And you might be thinking, well, why isn't eating the verb? Because we already have a verb. The verb is love. I love. And I could replace it with a pronoun like it. I could say, I love it. And that is how I know that this is a noun. And last but not least, groups of words, phrases and clauses, little teams. Team of words, team noun. Let's practice a little bit more. It's going to be similar to what we just did. I think Huang, I'll have you start. Can you read this?
Yeah. When people first came to America from England, they wanted each state to have its own government.
Good, really good pronunciation. Let's identify parts of speech. We're only going to be thinking about nouns right now. If you have any questions about these, because I went a little bit fast, let me know.
Okay. People.
It's not a
Common noun.
Yeah, a common noun, because it's not a group of words, not like 3 words, it's one. It doesn't have ing, it's not a pronoun, so it must be a common noun. So basically, if it's not any of those other ones, it's a common noun. Let's try America. I'm gonna ask Sophia, what part of speech do you think America is?
Common noun.
That's right, because it's a place. And we talked about how it's actually a proper noun, but we're not going to worry about that right now because the grammar is still the same. Okay, now there's government, and this is another example of a noun that isn't something we can see or touch. It's an idea. And little pro tip here, ment, always a noun. Let's have Zoe. What do you think government would be here? Is it a pronoun?
Common noun.
There you go. Yeah, you just eliminate all the others. It's not ing, it's not a pronoun, and it's not a group of words, common noun. Let's have, I guess, Coco, why don't you read till this colon right here?
Okay. Oh, give me a second. There want each state to rule it almost like some country after a while. The institution was meet and the people figured out that its policy was the rubbish and inhabitation.
Good sounding out new words. Let's practice a few of these. And the way that you said policy was perfect, by the way. So this word is situation.
Yeah.
And this is another example of it doesn't really look like that. It sounds like si, a. Yeah, and then shun, exactly. Situation. It doesn't really look like that at all, though. So English reading takes practice. This word over here is rubbish. It means garbage. And people like to use this word, especially in England.
Rubbish.
And embarrassing is talking about how a person feels. Maybe your face will turn red and you're like, you did something that makes you feel embarrassed, like maybe you tripped and fell down or broke something. Whoops. Let's identify this noun, and it is a noun. What do you think, Coco?
Which one? This one like ing noun.
That's right. It's an ing noun. So we can start seeing how that works.
Yes.
Okay. And then who do I want to call? Maybe. Think. I want to have Zoe. Can you read this?
You call
The
me right?
states were more like different countries. Running a government like America was very difficult. Voting for a president was always a mess.
Good. Okay. So now we have a group of words. What do you think this is? I think this is a mistake, actually. Don't worry about this part right here. It shouldn't be underlined. I'm going to have to come in here and correct this. Just focus on the word running.
ing noun.
That's right. Running was difficult. The subject is running was. And then over here, voting for a president. I think this is going to be the same thing again, where we really shouldn't have this part on here. And yes, this is also an ing. So I'm going to stop us on this exercise because I want to show you some of the other exercises in here so that you have a chance to see what else we can do. These that we were just working on, they have these different drop-down menus. They have vocabulary words and we can practice reading with them. With the grammar fill-in exercises, which would be the next one, I don't think we're going to have time to do the whole thing today, but we can do the first one. So these have little pieces of some article. And our job is to figure out how to put these words in the right order. Right now, they're a mess. They're in the wrong order and it doesn't make sense. So we need to put them in the right way. So I read the sentence, science can be a fun subject. Now I need to start my new sentence. What's the first word? What is this sentence going to start with? Look for the capital letter.
We are surrounded by science every day.
Who was that? Was that Zoe? Very good. So what we need to do, unscramble the words. We, that's the subject. It's also a pronoun. Are, that's our verb. Surrounded by, that is an adjective phrase. Science, every day. And now I would do this for the rest of these and also practicing new vocabulary, but it's the same thing again. You just unscramble them like that. And then the last type of exercise, this is my favorite one. I like this one. Maybe we'll see if we can spend a little time. So, oh no, this is different than I thought. Okay. Well, this one is also similar, but we're going to fill in the word and it will tell us what part of speech we need. So we need a noun today in something class. What could the word be? Which of these nouns can fit before class?
It's science.
That's right, science
Science.
class. Good. So we would fill it in today in science class. And I'm going to skip. I'm going to go a little bit faster. I don't like to go this fast, but I just want to show you. So over here, we learned how our lungs help us to. We need a verb. To do what? Our lungs are in our body.
Lungs.
Our lungs help us to
Breathe.
breathe. That's right. Breathe. That's a verb. And when it has the E, it's a verb. When it doesn't have the E, it's a noun. You can tell the difference. Let's do one more. In unit 3, we studied magnets. Those are those things that you can put together or pull apart. What part of speech could magnets be?
Adjective.
Adjective? Well, what are they talking about? Are they a thing or are they talking about a thing?
Talk about things.
Well, here it says we studied them. I could replace it with a noun. So that means magnets are a noun. And I'm going to show you what they look like real quick before we're done for today. Magnets look like these things. You can put them together. Magnet. So they're a thing, magnet. And another way to tell that this is a noun is it has a plural S. Only nouns can be plural, like cats, dogs, pens. So if you see a plural S, it's probably a noun. All right, for today, that's all that I have to offer. We were able to finish these two, but we only were able to look at these two for a 45-minute class, and it's our first class. Kind of got to go a little bit slower. But anyway, that is it for today. And again, I'm Allison. It was great to meet all of you, and I hope that I'll see you again in the future.
Yeah,
Nice. Thank you.
Nice to meet you too.
teacher.
All right, bye-bye.
Thank
And if
you,
you have
Agnes.
questions, you
Bye.
can stay, but otherwise you will go, and I'll see you hopefully around.
Okay. Hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Thank you.
Yeah. Are you
Have a
living?
great day.
It's like, where's you living?
I live in Davis,
Oh,
California.
Davis.
Yeah, like
Oh.
UC Davis.
Oh my God, in the California, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, that's great. So tomorrow is like a Labor Day.
Actually, Labor Day is a holiday, so it's Monday.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah, that's great. I mean, it's a good holiday.
Yeah, it's a long weekend, 3-day
Long
weekend.
week. Yeah, everybody go to vacation.
That's true. I'm working, but everyone else will go on vacation. That's okay though. I like working online. It's great because I can meet people in China. I can meet people in California. I have students in Hawaii. So I have students all over, which is really fun for me to meet new people.
Oh,
Anyway.
yeah. Yeah, cool. Right now, I live in South Florida.
Florida.
Yeah, Florida.
Well, I'm glad you're okay after the big storm, the hurricane.
That's fine. It's everybody is normal life right now.
Well, at least you're used to it, but I think it sounds like a lot of rain.
Yeah, yes, it's a focus. Yeah, little bit raining. No, it's okay. Weather is okay. Be fine.
Well, glad to hear that, Coco. And I didn't know that you were in Florida. I didn't get a chance to ask you. Anyway, I'm so sorry, but I have another class at 7 o'clock. So it's time for me to head out. And it was, again, really nice to meet all of you. Hope to see you again.
Okay, see you next time.
All
See you
right.
next
Bye-bye,
time. Bye.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for coming.